So tell us a little bit about your music. I mean, it's quite an unusual sound. How would you describe it yourselves?
Well, I'd say it's even more unusual if you listen to our albums because we're primarily a black metal band.
Okay.
But the issue is, right, this side of our music comes as like a little, you could say like a contrast to that.
Okay.
So, for example, in the album for the first song, Post-Urban, that came from 40,000 Years. And the the songs on the album are like 13-minute long black metal songs. And then you have these two little tracks that kind of sandwich them together. So the music mainly is all about creating a contrast between those two sounds.
Because I don't really know very much about black metal at all. Only from a book that I've read called Girls Against God by Jenny Hval. It's a Norwegian writer. And she talks about Norwegian black metal, and there's lots of like witchcraft.
And it's not like that in our music, definitely, no.
No. So yeah, I mean, we spoke about Röyksopp, but what kind of places do you take your inspiration from? What sort of led you to this type of creativity?
I think asking us that question together is kind of tricky because we're two very different people and it's kind of expressed in our music. So I think I'll let Neve start with that and then we'll work on to my influence.
Okay, so yeah, I would like to say that I definitely brought more of the trip-hop sound to the music that we make together. So my inspirations are mostly coming from more Chiba, Portishead. I listened to a lot of Massive Attack growing up, so I love that kind of sound. I definitely try to influence Kostek with those sources of inspiration when I joined him making music, and I think you can definitely hear that distinct sound in 40,000 Years. It's definitely got a trip-hop feel to it in a lot of the songs.
Yeah, and I'm embarrassed to say when I made those songs I didn't even know what trip-hop was, but we did have a review from Stereogum, I believe. They did a whole review of the album and they said it's clear where like the trip-hop influences are coming from, but when I made those songs I don't think I listened to a single trip-hop song in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of ashamed to admit that.
I think that's more impressive, honestly, because he like nailed it. In my opinion, he nailed it first go. And I was listening to the tracks, the demos for those tracks, and I was just mind blown. I was just so excited to be a part of it and write lyrics for it. And it was very exciting.
tell us a little bit about your process then. Like, how do you get together to make songs?
Well, I wouldn't really describe us getting together. Most of the time the songs are really done over, well, to put it bluntly, over WhatsApp. Like I have a idea, I send it over and things just get shared back and forth. But really the way of working is kind of strange, because for me I'm a very instrument and composition and performance sort of guy, so I really don't care about the vocals. So when it comes to the instrumentals, I definitely do handle most of that. I would even say 99% of the time the song is pretty much there by the time I send it to Neve. She just puts her vocal flourishes over it. Occasionally, yeah.
No, absolutely, yeah. I was all about writing poetry and stuff like that beforehand, and I thought I'd done a bit of music here and there, but never really taken it too seriously, and I thought, well, I might as well take a bit of the poetry writing and try and transfer that over to music and see where it takes me. And you were looking for someone to write lyrics for the album at the time, and it just kind of went from there, and I enjoyed it so much that I just wanted to keep being part of the project, and we've worked together really ever since.
Yeah, well, you seem to gel together very well, and the whole performance really comes together beautifully. And like the listeners at home will not be able to see like what a chaos the like studio is at the moment.
Yeah.
There's so many like different bits and pieces that have to be put together.
Yeah, I'll actually come to that in a second, because it's a whole part of the sound that's really complicated for me to figure out.
Yeah, well, please tell me more about it, because there's lots of gadgets. I was sort of stood to the side trying to get as far out of the way as possible.
Oh, me too. I'm a liability in this situation.
Really, being uni students and all that, we both have money and space issues, so when it comes to making all of our music, even the guitar effects and the bass amps are all digital, and there's like a lot of little automation within the song, so we can't really do live performances without the laptop, so things occasionally do crackle. But one thing I want to say about the live performance is we're very new to it. This is only our second time ever performing.
Okay.
So it's really just like a matter of doing it over and over and ironing out the mistakes.
Oh, well, I have to say you would never have known that. Like, I thought that I was going to ask you, like, whereabouts you do perform.
We don't.
Yeah.
We really don't.
Surprise.
Oh, well, hopefully after today. Yeah. And, oh, maybe if you... I can imagine some visuals being incorporated into this whole, like, it would be an entire experience.
Oh, yeah, with the budget.
If we had the money.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know, yeah. Oh, well, maybe we can talk about ideas after, but...
when I tried to make that last song, the whole point of it was for it to sound very nostalgic, but
Okay.
in hindsight, I think it's just a bit depressing.
I thought it was actually really like quite upbeat.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's new to me.
Does that, I don't know what that says about my state of mind though.
Are you okay? Art is subjective.
In fact, yeah, it's probably one of the oldest songs we played there. That was composed maybe 2.5 years ago now. It's still
Okay.
never been released, so the first time it has been played is here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're very privileged.
And the second song, in fact, that's still not been released.
Two of them are unreleased songs. Like we're waiting on another artist. We've been working on a split album with another artist, and
Okay.
we're waiting for him to release his side of things before the album comes out.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
those are some songs that.
And so this, like you mentioned, sort of sending pieces back and forward over WhatsApp and things. Is that always how you operated, or do you think the sort of pandemic and like having to be apart but being able to still create, do you think that has influenced your process at all?
I would personally say no. I don't know how you feel about it.
I still think we work the same way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think it really had much to do with the pandemic more than it was just the style of music doesn't necessarily require you to be together to
Okay.
kind of change elements of it. And when we are together, it's very efficient, and like we already have an idea of what we want to do.
Yeah.
We get it done. And
Yeah.
that's that. Like it's not so
But
much.
if we start from scratch and we're alone together, I don't think we come up with anything good most of the time.
Yeah, there's definitely two completely different creative perspectives coming together
Exactly.
there. But it definitely works when we're both influencing each other in a more like passive and distant way, and it works well for me as well. So.
Okay, well that's really interesting, and like you're saying, it's must make it quite easy to then incorporate other musicians, other artists into the work as well. Have you done that before, or is this quite a new experiment working with someone else?
For the first release, before Neve came, I had a different singer, and the process was pretty much the same. Like the only involvement was I sent her the file, she had an idea, we came in and recorded it. Like there's really not much to it, but I think it makes it really good because if you ever want to work with artists over the internet, and I think the genres we work in are very much like not. I mean, some genres, like I would say acoustic or indie rock, is very much a local area focus, but the stuff we work with is definitely more internet based, so that makes it a lot more easier to work with other artists. I've not had the offer to yet, and I've not asked, but I'm sure if anyone wanted to do, I'd be more than up.
Okay. Oh, brilliant. And so you're from different backgrounds as well. Like, where have you both come from to get to Stirling?
So I'm originally from Lancaster,
Okay.
like northwest England, and this was the only Scottish uni I applied to, and I don't know what was going through my mind at the time. I was like, I'm gonna move 3.5 hours away from home, but here we are.
We have a castle.
Yeah,
There's a
exactly. Yeah, that was
castle.
my main motivation, and Scran pizza.
There you go. What more do you want?
Exactly.
Originally I came from Serbia to Scotland,
Oh wow.
but as of right now I live in Aberdeen, so my scope was I can only apply to unis in Scotland. Since I've lived here for so long, I get it for free,
Okay.
and I decided to come to Stirling.
Can't relate, unfortunately. Full fee student.
Oh, shame.